Thank you very much for coming to this roundtable discussion. The general format that we're for this next 2 hours. I'm just going to give a quick introduction, just bring you up to speed on the full application, the review process, and the associated deadlines. And then I'm going to introduce our panel here. So we have 5 faculty members who serve on NSERC evaluation groups. They don't review your application because that's conflict of interest, but they are insiders on the process. They are here to answer your questions. I'm not going to say all questions because I don't know what you have in mind. So why don't we get started? So just quickly, we're going to go over the full application. What the evaluation groups are, the selection criteria that the reviewers judge your application with, the important deadlines, I guess, too, as of now, and we'll get into the discussion. So the full application, this is actually from NSERC with all the details. They added in a column about areas you can tie to your CCV. I'm not going to talk about Canadian Common CV. We had a workshop on this earlier before. I understand it's not, I don't understand. I know it's a frustrating affair. I'm here to help. I can't say I can answer all your questions right away because things are getting very, very busy. But if you're having problems with it and you feel like you've hit a brick wall, give me a call and I'll try to help you with that. So the full application, you have a summary of your proposal. You have the proposal itself, 5 pages for you to craft your magic and convince the reviewers that your science is worth funding. Your HQP training plan, your past contributions to training, your additional information about your contributions, research and budget justification. Then you have your relationship to your other sources of support, your most significant contributions, and samples of those contributions and references for your proposal. So how NSERC reviews these applications is that they've broken it down into 12 different discipline-based evaluation groups. These groups have a standing committee who review the applications, as well as external reviewers that are brought in to review applications. And they are all evaluated using 3 selection criteria: scientific or engineering excellence of the researcher, the merit of the proposal, and contributions to the training of highly qualified personnel. They also assess your application based on the relative cost of research, but as I understand it, really is it suitable or is it not? I would really suggest that you go to the NSERC peer review manual. It's online. Section 6 covers the entire process of discovery grants. I actually have it right here. It's really, really valuable resource. NSERC, to their credit, does make all these things available, so you know exactly what your application is going to be reviewed with. I suggest downloading it right away. Within the scientific and engineering excellence of the researcher, there are some sub-criteria that they judge your application for you, the applicant. It's your stature in the field, your accomplishments, quality and impact of your contributions, collaborative work, and the impact of advancing knowledge. The merit of the proposal itself is the originality of the research, the innovation of it, the significance and the expected contributions, the clarity of your work, how you present it, the appropriateness of your methods, the feasibility of what you're proposing, and the relevance. And in criteria 3, the contributions to the training of highly qualified personnel, it's really the quality and the impact of what you've done in the past 6 years, what you plan to do, and where the trainees are going to go as it's appropriate for NSERC, and also what the role of the trainees are in the application itself. Is the work they propose appropriate for their level of their degree? So David has passed around an evaluation form, but also with it is this discovery grant merit indicators. This is on their peer review manual. It's present in there. I would really recommend having a copy of it. We've given you a copy of it. I have it posted right above my screen. So whenever I'm looking at an application, I look at this. This is how they grade all of your applications based on these 2 criteria. It's really important. It bolds the language that they want the reviewer to judge your application on. So it's a great guide.
The previous slide would have with an acronym I didn't know.
Beg your pardon?
The previous slide and an acronym I didn't. NSE.
Oh, Natural Sciences and Engineering. That's okay. So basically, we have 2 deadlines coming up. There's the NSERC Discovery Grant is due November 2nd, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you'll need the ORS signature, so you'll need your RPIF form and your discovery grant. But at the least, you'll just need to summary your proposal, your budget justification, and the RPIF, and you'll need to submit that to ORS by 4:30, Monday, October 26th, I believe it is. So I'm here to help. Tim's here to help. I put our names down because we're committed to this. I would name all your ADRs and department heads, but I don't think they would be pleased with me to put their name to paper. But there are people here to help you, so ask questions and ask as many people if you have any questions. Just really don't feel shy. And let's just get to it. As I mentioned, I have 5 very generous faculty members who've put aside some time to talk about the NSERC review process. And I'm going to introduce them one by one, then I'll ask them to just introduce themselves further beyond what I've just said and go over the review process and any general advice. So we have Jane Lang, who's a professor in the Department of Electrical and Chemical Engineering. We have Don Madovich, professor in the Department of Civil Engineering. Jeanette Witten, associate professor in the Department of Botany. We have Edo Yenge, who's a professor in the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering. And Yuri Bopda, who's an associate professor in the Department of Physics and Astronomy. So without further ado, Jane, why don't you just introduce yourself, your evaluation group, and feelings about it.
So I'm in the electrical and computer engineering evaluation group. I think it's 15 and so many proposals of ECE department.
And any sort of general experiences you've had with the review process, any general advice, problems, challenges? Okay, look
I'm Don Mavick from the Civil Department. I'm the group chair for EG 1509, and I believe we are now the largest group within NSERC. We have 4 subdivisions, and we include everything civil, municipal, environmental, mining, forestry, environmental chemistry applications come our way in some cases, optimization systems, industrial engineering. So it's a very large group with a fairly large budget. And this is my 3rd and final year, and I've sat on the evaluation side of it before as well. But it's been an interesting exercise, I want to say, to be the chair and spend money. So forth, and sign off on things, but there's been some interesting changes in the last couple of years since I've taken over as chair. And I sit as a member of COGS, which stands for the Council for the Committee on Graduate Undergraduates and Scholarships as well. So we meet twice a year, November and May, and go over everything, policy and so forth with staff, and then make recommendations specific to improvements, not just with discovery grants, but for equipment, CRDs, and so forth. And that goes to council. Sometimes they accept our advice, sometimes they don't. And maybe as we have more opportunity moving into specifics of maybe some tips on discovery grants and so forth, and some of the roadblocks and some of the pluses that we see in terms of how we operate. So,
I'm Jeanette Witten. I'm in the Department of Botany. I sat on the evaluation group 1503, which is ecology and evolution, for 3 years, and this coming year I'm doing a 4th year co-chairing that evaluation group. If I was going to sort of, in a nutshell, summarize my advice, I would say make it easy for us. Proposals that achieve that essentially have clarity in addressing the criteria. They are well written. They are not generally those that begin at the very top corner of the first page and go to the very bottom corner without ever seeing a break in space. In other words, they're succinct. They know the difference between short-term objectives and hypotheses. They lay out a limited number of projects that clearly incorporate HQP. I mean, this is all, essentially they have paid homage to the grid and to the instructions. I mean, I hate to say what seems patently obvious, but it's it is stunning how frequently that's not adhered to. And I think my advice for early career, late career is always the same. Adhere to that. And probably the most important thing is to remember that super piece of advice or guidance, which is programs, not projects. So that's another sort of place where it's surprising how frequently that is not adhered to at various career stages.
Can you say what you mean by that? Programs, not projects?
Right. So pretty much everybody describes distinct objectives, but the linking of those into a research program, at least in our evaluation group, is always paramount. So that there be a continuity if you're reapplying, linking to past achievements, linking forward, linking the projects together, having that sense that we're funding a research program and not something that rests upon the success of one objective, sort of pass or fail, this is going to make or break this proposal, then that's telling me that it's a project and not really a program that I'm funding. A program has places of risk, places of security, all of those elements linked together. So,
Edward? I am Edward Genge from Chemical and Biological Engineering. I am serving on the Materials and Chemical Engineering Committee. I've been serving on this committee for 2 years. Actually, this year I am stepping down because myself I'm applying for a renewal of my Discovery grant, so I'll be back in 2017. What I noticed is that the major challenge for our committee is the wide diversity of research that comes our way. You can find, from biomedical engineering, stem cell related research to clean energy materials for fuel cells, for batteries. So there is a wide breadth of research that our committee has to deal with. And of course, while the selection process involves expertise as much as possible from each and every area, but you can count on the fact that you will have some people, at least as readers of your proposal, who are not truly experts in that particular field. And as my colleague Jane said, it's very important to make it clear, basically, even keeping this in mind that not everybody is an utmost expert in that particular area, but still they have to take something away from it and to hang on to something. I totally agree with the research program versus research projects. That's a very important aspect and came up many times. And I would add my own take on that. A research program, and let's don't forget, this is a discovery grant. So think about what do you really want to discover ultimately, and what hypotheses are driving that discovery, and how coherent then you can put together the different parts supporting that particular discovery, because that's a distinctive element here as opposed to a CRT or some other industrial funded projects. This should be discovery driven ultimately, and the research program indeed based on discovery. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm Jörg Rottler, I'm from Physics and Astronomy, and I've served 2 rounds now on 1505, this evaluation group of physics, and I'll be the section chair for statistical and software and metaphysics in the upcoming competition. So I just want to very strongly underline everything that's been said with regard to the content of the proposal. Let me elaborate a little bit more or advise that when you write the proposal, you try to find the right balance between being very technical and general at the same time. Keep in mind that you sort of have 2 audiences. You have some expert reviewers who will be external. Some of them will be those you suggest. Others will be allocated by INSERC or by the readers of your proposal. Those will be in your field, but as was just pointed out, the 5 individuals who eventually vote on your proposals will not likely, all of them, have expert knowledge in that particular area. So you want to create general excitement about what is the vision of the proposal, why does it matter, but at the same time also provide sufficient detail that one can ascertain thereafter can sort of has all the skills and is ready to go and implement these programs.